So this might just be the biggest news of 2025 because Akai Professional and Native Instruments have just announced a creative partnership. What this means is that Native Instruments sounds are now going to be available inside the MPC standalone workflow. So in this video, we're just going to jump right over into the MPC and check out the MPC Edition Play Series and the MPC Edition expansions by Native Instruments. So to find where the MPC Edition Play Series are, we will go to the sound page, go over here to the second page, and we can see our titles: Analog Dreams, Cloud Supply, Noct, Homage, and Sway. Then to find your MPC Edition expansions, they are just going to be in the browser under the expansion tabs: Faded Reels, Global Shake, Hazy Days, Lone Forest, and Rare Vibrations. Now there will be a video for each one of these expansions that goes through the preview of all of the kits. And let me tell you, there's actually a lot of sounds inside of these expansions. There are drums anywhere from 40 to 50 kits. And then inside of the instruments, we have anywhere from 50 to 70 different instruments. But check out the videos inside of the playlist because we will have full previews of all of the different kits inside of each one of these expansions. Now let's actually jump back into Analog Dreams and take a look at what these actual Play Series looks like. The very first thing that really jumped out to me was this little white dot right here. And what this actually does is it morphs through 4 different states of the plugin. So it's something that doesn't exist in the desktop, and I think this makes this really unique and really cool. So as you can hear, while we're going through and moving our finger on the screen, which is fully automatable, by the way, we are seeing that all these parameters are morphing. So the way this essentially works is we have things like filter, envelope time, motion, which controls the LFOs, and also the meta, and then the mix in between A and B, which can all be captured within one of these 4 quadrants. So let's say I wanted to tweak this sound and start off with the filter really closed off in this first quadrant. I'm going to tweak that, hit capture. I'm going to go up to quadrant number 4, and the filter is already set to wide open, so I'm going to capture that. But I want to add a lot of motion up here as well. I'm going to open that up, capture it. And in this one, I don't want any motion at all. Capture. And now what we have is we're going to see these parameters move to the captures that I just created. And that, I think, is the most unique feature of these Play Series because it just makes it instant gratification, and you can get some really complex sound design out of these plugins because beyond this main home screen, there is a lot going on right down here with these tabs. So again, let's work our way through these tabs and check out and see just how in-depth and deep these Play Series plugins get. One quick note is that no matter which Play Series you're looking at, whether it's Cloud Supply, Sway, Homage, the workflow is going to be the same in all of these. They're just kind of catered towards different genres or maybe to different sounds and have different internal wave sources inside of them. But the way you operate and navigate through these is going to be the exact same across all of these. So looking at the main home page right here, again, we have 2 layers, an A and a B, and we can just click on that and select between this huge list of different waves that we can now bring into it. Again, we can morph between them, and then these control everything that's happening under the hood that we're going to get to right now. Clicking on home one more time gets us into, let's say, the global settings of this preset right here. We have legato, poly, portamento. Here at the bottom is meta, where we can select 2 different parameters from a drop-down list and assign them to the meta knob on the front page. Then we have layer A and layer B, and this is where we can get in and customize each one of these layers. So just to show you what's happening here, I'm going to go all the way up and just hear only layer 1. I'm going to open the filter up a little bit so we can hear it. But within the filter of this layer, this is the global filter over here. We actually have an individual filter for each one of these layers. And one cool thing is there's a little dot on both the LFO and the filter. So we can actually, without having to go into the second screen where the filter lives, from this first screen, we have the ability just to tap on this and tweak the filter there as well as the LFO. But if we want to get in deeper, we go into the second page of the layer. So again, this is sort of an overview of this layer. Going into the second page of this layer, we can actually change what the filter is, the resonance. We can change the amp envelope. Then when we go over, we can either go over two different ways. We can click amp envelope again, and you can see it goes to the filter envelope and the LFO, or we can simply click on here. Now, one thing to note is anytime you're inside of one of these screens, you want to take a look and see if there's anything you can go deeper into. So such as the LFO right here, if we double tap on that, we have a whole bunch of different LFO waveforms that we can use within this LFO. Also, let's take a look right here under the amount. You see under the amount, there's a little purple line. So as we change the motion, we're going to see that this is directly affecting and bringing up the LFO amount right here. So again, anytime there is a little purple line next to a knob, that means it's being controlled by one of these global morphing knobs over here. Moving over to the right, this is just layer B. It's the exact same layout as layer A. It's just using the controls to manipulate a different waveform that we can go through a big list and select from. So again, we go through, we have the main screen, we have then our amp, our filter, and our LFO. Moving over to the matrix. Now this is where we can get some movement and sound design going on. We can use the source of either the filter envelope or the LFO, assign the filter envelope to any two parameters, and again, let's highlight that, click on this, and we can go through this long list of destinations for the filter envelope to modulate. The same with the LFO. Inside of here, we have a huge amount of destinations that this LFO can actually affect. Also, too, we can get in here and change the different scale, the polarity, the center scale, the reverse scale. So which way is the modulation happening? We can set the amount, and we can set minimum and max values. We can even quickly turn on and off the different modulation destinations. So you can actually get quite a bit of movement and modulation going on inside of here. So this is the layer, the matrix for layer A, and this is going to be the matrix for layer B. Now moving over, we have the effects. Now the effects, there are 4 different effect slots. However, for each one of these effects, you have a whole bunch of variety going on. So inside of saturation, you have this whole submenu: bit crush, corrosion, diode, overdrive, retro tape. So you can get a lot of very unique sound characteristics out of the different styles of saturation. Same with chorus, you're going to have flanger, chorus, vibrato. Coming in, you have different kinds of delays. And then even over here in the reverb, you have different kinds of reverb. So just right there in the first screen of the effects, we have a whole bunch of different ways to really add some complex, unique sound design to the preset that we started with. Clicking on effects one more time, we have a master EQ for this preset. And then going over to the final tab, we actually have a lot of options for aftertouch. Again, the destination right here, it's going to be the same menu with layer A and layer B, and pretty much everything we can tweak in there, including some of the mix of the reverb and delay. And we can have 4 destinations for the aftertouch. And then clicking one more over, we have the mod wheel. So as you can see right there, just within these tabs, we have quite a bit of ability to really come in and do some very complex sound design. And I think that's where all of these different features for sound design, effects, modulation routing, that's how these Native Instruments Play Series are really able to have larger than life sounds. The sounds inside of these plugs are pretty impressive. So I'm just going to maybe go ahead and play a couple of different sounds from each one of these. Again, there's hundreds of presets inside each one of these. You know, a full list, a ton of basses, a ton of leads, a ton of synths, pads, which inside Analog Dreams is absolutely amazing, plucks, and of course you can start from scratch to create your own. So I'm going to go through a couple of presets from each one of these, but remember, regardless of whichever one you're in, that workflow of having the home page and then the global parameters, the layer A and the layer B and the multiple pages of each one, the routing matrix right here for layer A and layer B, and also the effects and then the master EQ, and then the aftertouch modulation. That's going to be the exact same regardless of which one you are in, as well as this full quad morphing system that's going on here. Allows you to get some really expressive things. Also, you can fully automate this morphing in between it. So we're on this sound right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my automation write mode, and I'm just going to record a chord. And let's play that back, and you're going to see that we have that full automation happening. And this is something that is unique to the MPC edition of the Play series, because you have these 4 different states that you can go in, completely customize the different sound that you want, the blend between the A and the B. Let's say this. And then I just capture it. Now it can come over to 4. This is how it sounds over in 4. And maybe I want to maintain that motion. Actually, I want a lot of motion. And I want it really washed out with the reverb. I just hit capture, come out of that. And now it just really invites you into the interface to play with the different morphing, play with the sound design, and really come up with some unique, creative sound design within these plugins. So there it is. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this new creative partnership between Akai Professional and Native Instruments. And also, let me know what you think is going to happen next. Are they going to keep bringing all of the Play series over into the MPC? Are they possibly going to expand and bring over some contact libraries into the MPC? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty damn excited to see what happens next between these two companies. So with all that being said, my name is Stu. This is Create, Educate, and Inspire. And always, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And go make some music.